Hello, I'm Morton O Kelly, Professor of Geography at The Ohio State University. Thank you for sending me some questions about North American air transport, and happy to be sending you this Zoom clip. First, let's note that before the pandemic, pre-crisis profitability for airlines was at a record level, and they were set at the beginning of 2020 to be on a record path for profitability as a result of strong demand, management of capacity, and the ability to charge fees for things like changes and for extra baggage, etc. Airlines were doing very well. The evaporation of demand as a result of the pandemic that occurred in early 2020 was very noticeable. And in most recent months, we still are at a state where domestic air traffic is down by about 63% and international traffic down by about 77%, this according to Airlines for America. In addition, load factors are at a low level by comparison to year over year. So recent data might suggest a 60% load factor, whereas a year ago this normal pattern would have been around 85%. So we've experienced a dramatic drop in demand and a result of airlines losing a lot of cash and having to really be careful to preserve the ability to recover when the recovery comes. I think one of the interesting areas in which the drop has been most dramatic is in international traffic. And I pay particular attention to this because I think it's both a bellwether and an important indicator of the depth of the impact of the pandemic. In particular, gateway to gateway traffic, say London Heathrow to New York Kennedy, has taken a big hit, not just because of the point-to-point traffic between those two cities, but the fact that the gateway to gateway traffic contains and gathers in a flow of traffic from other surrounding points. So Ohio passengers traveling to England might do so across Kennedy to Heathrow connection. I think that has been impacted very, very heavily. I think because of the intrinsic necessity for some of those connections between big cities, they will come to recovery and people will return to those big gateway paths. But at the moment, it's down quite a bit. The second or third point I think would be very interesting to make is that airlines have used this opportunity to study ways to make their fleet efficiency decisions and to move quickly to remove aircraft that are less efficient. In many cases, we read about them being either decommissioned completely or parked in the desert or far from readiness. And interestingly, airlines like United are making good care that the airliners that will be most useful to them in the recovery are closest to readiness and to recovery, perhaps parked at a hub, undergoing maintenance and ready to be brought back online as they imagine that the network demand is supporting the recovery. And finally, I just mentioned that airlines have adapted a little bit by making use of their capacity to haul more freight. And this is an adaptation that's making use of some of their equipment under these extraordinary times. So we hope for recovery, and thank you for listening.